Most people think that selling and buying houses at the same time is risky and it's scary. But here's the truth. If you do it without a plan, that's where it gets people in trouble. And if you get the steps wrong, it's not only stressful, but it could cost you tens of thousands of dollars, frustrations. Worst case scenario, you may even be stuck between homes. In this video, I'll break down how do you avoid selling before you actually know your buying power, and how timing can quickly kill a deal, and what most homeowners get wrong when they are pricing their home. This way, you can buy and sell with confidence. If you're just meeting, my name is Tsai. I'm the founder for eXp North Star, the About You team. Last year, our group has sold over 1,000 property with a volume at almost $1 billion. This is where we help homeowners to make smart real estate decisions without the hard way. One of the biggest mistakes that I see when people are exchanging their primary property to another primary property is that they don't look at how much they can qualify and how much they can buy for before they actually make the move. I don't mean by using a quick online calculator. What I mean is actually getting a full loan approval. This way, you know exactly where you stand, exactly what your options are. If you were to sell this property, what's the price point that you can buy? And based on that price point, are you able to buy the home that you actually like? Because price has been going up historically. Even when the market was high, there's some recession, but typically if you do own your property for more than 5 to 10 years, the value has gone up. And the good news is that you actually have more equity that you can have to buy the next property. But the thing is, market always fluctuate and your payment fluctuate. So it's always good to get a lender to look at your number and actually give you what's realistic, what's comfortable for you as far as monthly payment. And based on that, can you actually get the home that you like in the neighborhood that you like? Or else that cannot defeat the purpose for you to actually make the move, right? The second things that I see people do a lot is that they are looking to buy a property without knowing all of their options as far as contingent sale, as far as rent back, or asking for a longer escrow period of time to actually make things work, whether it's primary property or an investment property. Because if you haven't thought about your clear exit strategy, sometimes you're in this scramble mode, like, oh, maybe I should do this, maybe I should do that. And in a way, you're being a little bit reactive when you're actually going to make this purchase or sale, because you're kind of relying on how many offers that come in to buy your property, and you're unsure about what you're gonna do when you're buying the next property. So when it comes to negotiation, you're kind of on a weaker and lower point because you have this uncertainty. I'm gonna list a couple clear exit strategy, and you can kind of see how if you are unsure which one you're using, it can really impact the result of your move. The first strategy is contingent sale. So what it means is that we put the home on the market and then we get the buyers to come in and we negotiate the pricing, and let's say we agree on the term and the price, and we'll tell the buyer, now let's wait. Give me a little bit of time. I'm in the process of shopping for a home. This escrow that we have with the buyer, the timeline will start rolling once I get in escrow with another property. And this is what we call contingent sale. There are pros and cons in doing this. The pro is that I have less risk, because if I don't find a property there, I can cancel this sale. And meanwhile, it also put me at a disadvantage point when I am negotiating for the property I'm looking to buy. Because when I'm buying that property, I may have competition. And imagine if you're the seller for the property that I'm trying to buy, you have a couple offers. One is cash, one is financing, and one is contingent sale. Which one would you rather go with? If you were to go with the contingent sale one, then maybe like the price had to be higher or the turn has to be stronger somehow. There has to be a good enough enticing reason for you to take the contingent sale, right? So just like anything, higher the risk, higher the return. Lower the risk, lower the reward. Second is called rent back. What it is that the seller put the home on the market, we wait for buyers to come in, and we negotiate with the buyer, we open escrow, and then typically escrow is about 25 to 30 days, sometimes 45 days. But we're asking the buyer, hey, can you give us a little bit more time because we're shopping for a home. So maybe ask for another month or maybe even 2 months of rent back. So what it is that we're still gonna close escrow that just say in 30 days. And in 30 days, the seller, is gonna become the tenant for the property for maybe another month or 2. The longest we have negotiated was, I would say 6 months. But it really depends on the market, depends on how many competitors that we have. Sometimes you can get market rent, sometimes it is the mortgage payment that the buyers are paying, and sometimes you may even be able to get it for free. So it depends on how you price the property and how many competitions are there. If there's more competition, then usually the seller has more negotiation power. The third way is you purchase the property first and then you sell the property concurrently. So the third way, usually people do it when they have the ability, they have more money in their bank, so they can buy that without selling this property. However, for people who really need the fund from their existing property to buy the next one, typically option 1 and 2 are the way that they usually go with. The benefit of buying first and then selling concurrently or selling later is that people can actually see the property easier without restriction of people living in there. Perhaps you can stage your property so the property would look nicer. The downside is obviously you need to pay 2 mortgages. Some people, they want to do that, and what they do is that they get a hard money loan to purchase the next property first because they really don't want people to distract them while they live there. They don't want to show the property, so that's why they want to move out first. The downside of that is obviously there's a little bit more cost, but everybody's looking for different things, and that's definitely one option that people choose from time to time. And the third point is timing it correctly. Some people, when they're thinking about buying or selling at the same time, they don't really care about the timeline. They just do whatever they feel like. Sometimes they will go look for property first. Sometimes they will put their home on the market without really planning. Later, after they get into escrow, etc., etc. And my personal opinion is that it is a little bit reactive that way. So what I like to do is to be overly prepared, so this way I can be more proactive. So what I mean is that if I'm thinking about exchanging my property, let's say if I'm the seller, what I would do is that I would definitely talk to a lender first. And then if you don't have any lenders, we have a couple. So let us know, and then I can get one of our lenders to reach out to you and get you that full pre-approval letter. This way you can know your number, and when you're actually offering, you know exactly what you're doing. So that way there's no surprises down the road. So what I would do if I'm looking to exchange property is that first, I will talk to the lender. I will get that pre-approval letter. This way I know what I can buy. And then now I know what I can buy is that I'm gonna talk to a professional real estate agent like myself to know exactly, let's say if I were to sell this property, how much I can get it for. And then based on that, I can run my number on, okay, if I were to sell this, what is the proceeds that I can get? So that way I can use that as a down payment to buy the next property. And based on that down payment, what will be my monthly expense? And could I or would I want to buy a fixer-upper and have more money to remodel it myself? Or do I want to buy a turnkey home so I can use most of the fund to just, use it as a down payment and get a higher price point property? So that's why it's very important to know all that. Before we get to the next point, if you like the content here, please hit the like and subscribe button. That will really help this channel so that we can reach more people that really can use this information. Point number 4 is overpricing your property. Yes, of course, we all want to sell as high as possible. Trust me, that's also our goal, to get you as high as possible. Meanwhile, don't underestimate looking at the number on both sides of the transaction, meaning the proceeds that you're selling and then the property that you're buying and the monthly payment, overall how much you're paying. So we kind of described it in the previous point, but sometimes sellers tend to overlist the property, where depends on the market. They may overprice the property, and then the property sits, and the property they like on the market, they are not able to buy because they are a little bit stuck on the price that they want for the property that they're selling. That can become an issue where then that property will never sell. Then if you never sell, then you can't really buy a property that you're looking to buy. So by overpricing a property in a chain transaction like this, delay sometimes costs more than people can realize. Last point is not to have a backup option. Sometimes when we get into escrow, even the strongest deals can fall apart. And some seller can be overly optimistic, and once they get into escrow, they start packing, they start doing this, they start buying furnitures, they start to even arrange contractors to remodel the next property. I would say before both parties remove their contingency, the deal is not done yet. So be calm, hope for the best, but also prepare for the worst. Always have a backup plan. It really depends on if you're in a rush, do you really have to make the move? Is it for kids' school that they gotta register for the new school? So think about that. That's why we always recommend having ample time. If you're thinking about exchanging properties, I would probably plan 3 to 6, even 9 months before the actual move. The biggest mistake that I see right now is that some people treat selling and buying like two separate transactions. You'll have to think of it like buying a car. You know, like, hey, if we're selling our old car and then we need a new car so that, or else we can't get to work. It's the same thing, but you know, some people, they look at, oh, you know what, let me sell my old car first and then let's worry about the new car later, in a way where, you know, then they can get to work. So very important. If you're looking to make the move, reach out to us. We'll give you some guidance without any pressure. We'll be able to connect you with the lender so that way you can structure and map your move. And that way you don't have to go through all the stress of selling a property. Our goal is to make it as seamless as possible, meanwhile making it as enjoyable as possible for you. If this video helped you think differently when it comes to buy and sell a property, please like and subscribe the channel and share it with somebody that's thinking about selling their property. And I will see you in the next video.